Casting devious stares in my direction. Mama, this surely is a dream. Yeah, dig it. Yeah, Mama, this surely is a dream.
All I know is I love sex and candy. What's the next line?
I smell sex and candy in here.
Oh.
Isn't it that? It's not I love sex and candy. It's I smell sex and candy. Hello, my good friend. Joined here today by my beautiful girlfriend.
Hello.
We're just jumping right in to this game. No little fun title screen or anything like that. Similar to Has Been Heroes, this is like an amazing mental game.
I just see bugs.
They're the damned Vec.
They're the what?
The Vec.
What's the Vec?
The Vec are giant insects.
Oh.
So, similar to Has Been Heroes, this is a puzzle game. And what it is remember Pacific Rim? You didn't see it, but do you know of it?
Yes, I've heard of it.
It's basically like that. It's gigantic machines versus gigantic aliens.
Gotcha.
And it's definitely not set on Earth because,
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it's supposed to be super in the future, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they've even called it Earth. I don't know. This is one of those games where it's more about playing it rather than like learning about the lore and all that stuff.
Okay, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why. So did you see how all these things are red? So
Yes.
little red stripy tiles. That's where those dudes are gonna hit. So it's a game of chess.
Oh, is it?
Essentially.
Okay, so
Okay.
bug chess.
Bug chess, yeah. Robot death punch bug chess.
Okay.
If that sounds clear. So each unit does its own thing, and the units tell you what you're going to do. So you have to use your units and your knowledge to finish the level appropriately. I love this game. It's like probably a little unhealthy.
What do you mean?
I wake up and I'm thinking about when I can play this game.
Since when?
I haven't been telling you. Just it's the only thing that I think about.
The only thing?
The only
You're
thing. No. When I wake up, it's like the first thing that like okay, I'll get out of bed today if I can play this for a level.
So, how long have you been playing it?
I only played it for about 5 days so far.
Oh, okay, so it's new, so you're excited about it.
I'm super excited about it, but remember Has Been Heroes, how I was so into that?
Yes,
and
yes.
So zen-like.
Yes.
So anyway, do you see this guy right here? This is like a boss level. I kind of wanted to throw you in just now because when I was looking up some videos for it, there's some garbage sites. Everybody was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna play on easy," and I'm like, "What, guys? So this is by the creators of FTL, that faster than light game that I'm garbage at.
What is it?
This game is
no,
from the
FTL?
creators of FTL.
I said, what's FTL?
Remember the game that we tried to record as one of our first shows? And I told you I died every time.
I thought that was
the
Spunky.
space game.
Oh.
The space game.
Didn't you die every time with Spunky?
Yeah, but the space game.
Okay, sorta. It was a long time ago.
It was a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's the game that I've always complained about, and I said there's a random element to it, yada yada yada. This game, there is no random element to it, really. Like, remember how I said I could try my best, and then I just always get screwed over at the end in FTL? And I can't even beat FTL on easy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's
Is that a common thing?
I don't know, who would admit that probably. Um,
You.
but like, I, so anyway, you can see in each unit attacks something different. Like this guy shoots kind of artillery, like mortars, over and onto stuff. This guy shoots directly across. Now, do you see? His attack was canceled because this robot down here, who is driven by Prospero, piloted by Prospero, he flips the attacks of whoever he hits. So it's not about defeating the enemies as much as it's about just surviving 5 turns until they leave or until things are online. And see, this is your grid defense, your health bar.
So it's always on a grid format like this, and it just changes with each level.
Yeah. Okay. So that was probably a lot to take in, but I really wanted to.
I kept up.
Jump right in. And well, no, I'm just saying, like it's tough, and I really wanted to. What I love about this game is it's not just about doing the one right move. It's about planning your next move, and like there's at least 20 quote unquote right moves all the time. It's about choosing the best one that'll have the best effect for the next turn as well. And I actually am going to play this game on hard. Like, I just appreciate, because FTL I felt like it was a little too random. This actually isn't. So I don't know. I'm just absolutely in love with this game.
That's really great. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
It's nice to have something that you're so excited by and look forward to.
Yeah. So do you see the little arrow dudes?
I do.
Vec are gonna come up from there. If my guy stands on it, he'll block an incoming Vec.
Oh, okay.
Which, if you're like
strategy, a lot of strategy.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking. It's not about just hitting the enemy, and because sometimes you can't defeat these guys. They have 5 health or something ridiculous. Also, you can look at the attack order. If sometimes I was in one situation in one game where 5 of the enemies were going to attack parts of the building, and if they attack the buildings, that's this power grid. If the power grid goes down, it's permanent loss.
Oh, wow.
You have to earn it back through like objectives or money or something.
Forgiving.
No. So if they hit the buildings, it loses your power and it's very bad. If they hit you, you permanently die as well. Like, your unit will be dead for the rest of the battle, and then it will be driven by an artificial intelligence after that. So you'll still get to use the unit, but it won't have special abilities. See how this guy, Prospero, has a green bar to the left? That means he's maxed out experience-wise.
Oh, wow.
So he has +2 health or +1 move, whatever, okay? But you get bonus things based on how upgraded your pilot is, because, like how experienced they are.
Right.
Okay? So if I put him in a situation where he dies, all that's gone. And he really does die.
Oh, okay.
So, and again, when I first played this game, I was like, why would I hold off the Vec from coming? I want to get as much of them as possible. You cannot play this game that way. I've actually got, and I can't wait to play this game on hard. Right now I'm playing on normal, and it was actually almost too easy there towards the end. But I'm familiarizing myself with all of the different robots, because there's different robots as well, and different strategies and all this stuff. And I'm not doing it perfectly, because not only was I trying to prevent the Vec from hitting the buildings, and see, what's going to happen is this guy only hits for 1, but there's pushing damage. So he'll push into the other unit and also damage himself for 1. So then he had 2 health. And see, like, you're very weak in the beginning, and that's what you have to plan for. And this guy, he shoots off a frozen grenade that
Oh.
freezes him and the unit. So what you have, and the enemy. So what you have to figure out is you have to figure out how I can freeze him and get hit in the process so that he breaks free from the ice.
Oh, okay.
So for that unit, you have to put him in harm's way.
I'm just really glad that I'm not playing today. It's too much. Like, I could not do the
What?
physical action with the strategy.
Oh no, no, no! That's I was like so
I'm still trying
torn.
to jump.
No, 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 no. So this isn't timed or anything. This is turn-based.
Yeah, but you still have to think about things like
Ye-
how where, like you said, it's like chess. You have to think about your next move, and like I don't know.
See, here's what's so
I'd be
cool
so
about this.
confused.
Look, if I moved my tank guy and I froze this guy right here,
Yeah.
the building wouldn't be hurt. But since two people were attacking that, you can't do that option. Do you see how you like eliminate the possibilities?
Yeah.
So I edited this so that you didn't see me over-analyzing everything. I mean, this game lets me overanalyze stuff.
Oh my
Like
God.
that's what this
You
is.
must be in heaven.
I am in heaven. It's just like think about it all you want.
Like an hour of watering your crops. I thought that was the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, it's not enjoyable.
No, but it was. You really love to get every little detail and really.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
Yeah. So I mean, this game really, it's like overthink everything, and
Yeah.
good job. So I'm kind of pretty stoked. And then some of the enemies, like this awesome bubbly octopus right here, when he is on the field, every Vec, I believe, explodes in adjacent tiles if destroyed. Also, I didn't know the extra electricity added to the permanent bonus. So there's a permanent defense bonus that you get. So I thought I should have destroyed a building because I thought I protect the coal plant. If I protect the coal plant, I get an extra electricity back. So I thought that I misunderstood the game because I didn't realize. I thought it was just when you bought something when you bought extra electricity at the store, it upgraded your grid defense bonus by 2%. And what that means is there's a 15% chance that if the Vec hit the buildings, the power won't go out. So imagine like I played for a few hours.
Right.
And I get to this part where I need it to hold. There's a dice roll at the end if I screw up.
Oh, okay.
That there's a 15% chance. And I didn't know that would go up by 2% if blah blah blah. You get it, right?
Right.
If I kept it at full percent. I thought I was being smart.
Okay.
I was like, well, what's the point of all this extra electricity bonus if mine's already full? So I was thinking differently.
So the point of each level is to get rid of the Vec.
Sometimes it's just to protect the town for 5 turns.
So you don't know until each level is presented.
No. Well, so see how this one says kill at least 7 enemies?
Yeah.
My guys.
Oh, so it gives you an objective. I didn't see that.
Those are bonus objectives.
Oh, there's a bonus. Well, where's the
The one thing that you're supposed to do is protect the power grid in each level, which means protect the buildings. That is your highest priority. Okay, but my guys aren't strong enough right now. They are like super babies. Okay, this guy can only fire ice. This guy only hits for 2, and this guy only started hitting for 2. Okay, I can't protect the buildings and destroy them. So, and again, that's not me, is it? I normally I'm 100% on doing everything, but that's really not an option in this game a lot of the time. When I first started playing, I was like, you're making the best of a bad situation, and see, then your pilots upgrade, and that's what I find so intriguing about it is. So yeah, look, that's a high threat, but it's a super high reward. You'll get 2 stars, which are like money, and then you'll get that little thing, which is a reactor core. Reactor cores upgrade your robots. So basically,
The Frozen Titans.
this is a really interesting one. There's evil robots that aren't under the vet control, aren't under your control, but you need to protect them.
Oh.
Freeze and defend both robots. Well, this guy is going to hit me and a building. And he's only got 1 health, so I can't hit him.
Oh.
So I've got to figure out how I can block him and defeat the Vec and block more Vec from coming because I'll get overwhelmed. Like it's really an amazing game.
I'm sitting here thinking, what? I'd be so confused.
So yeah, do you see, like, I fired on him, even though it wasn't going to kill him, it got him down 2 health. And I froze him, but what I really should have done was, or I could have done, is I could have gone right here. That way when he hit me, he broke the ice. That would have been a more optimal move. Now him, I get really pissed off by this little spider dude, because he shoots off a spider dude and he glues everybody in place. Like if you're by a spider egg or a spider web, it in adjacent tiles holds you down in webbing. So you have to defeat that enemy.
Oh my god.
And this was the first time I played with the Frozen Titans. Normally in these sorts of games, I don't expect to live the first time I try a new hero or something, because it's a different strategy. Remember how in Has Been Heroes, when you got a new guy, it was like a completely different game almost, because the strategy switched up. Well, the same goes for this.
What is the name of this game?
Into the Breach, dear friends. Not the dear friend. Into the Breach.
Into the Breach.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have to freeze and defend both robots. So what I was thinking I could do was go, if I go over here and I hit this little scarab to the bottom left, it would hit this guy. And if it hits this guy, then I would break him free, so I can't do that. If I go here, it's just great.
Yeah.
I love it so. You can you remember how I went this, like, I just passed out a few nights ago? Remember? It's because it's like a hamster wheel for me. That's what this game is. It's like my own little hamster wheel. You can just overthink everything and just, good job. It's great. It's great. And what's so cool, so how I edited this was I showed you one of the later levels to get you enthralled, and then I showed you some levels as I was learning things, because I thought it would be too overwhelming if I was just doing cool move after cool move.
Right.
So me playing will get progressively better as I understand more of the game. And that's the thing, you've really got to understand how to play with these characters, because these guys are pretty much all about freezing and pushing and canceling moves, whereas other guys are about defeating, other guys are about hazardous materials. And I was reading something on Steam that said you could play this game for months and months, and I really think a lot of people must be lying or something online, because he was like, oh, the pilots, you unlock there's more pilots to unlock, the more objectives and time pods you get. Also, if you clear an island and do all of the bonus objectives and do everything perfect, you get an extra free reward. So I can choose a pilot. So for two of the islands, I did it absolutely perfectly, and I got to choose a new pilot, which is super cool. And and the pilots are unlocked permanently. So so this is actually this island is owned by this kind of like robot chick. Okay, she's not organic. She's just a sentient mind. Like she said, our sentient minds and stuff. Yeah, there you go. So I've talked about that for 20 minutes. And I'm so, like, seriously, like, the other day, I only woke up because I was like, all right, you're definitely going to get to play if you wake up right now. So it's like, fine, I'll wake up.
Good for you.
Yeah, and yesterday I was like, if you edit this video really quickly, you can probably play before you go to bed. Didn't happen, but it like gets me so motivated.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so oh man, look at this, look at this. It's just
How long
so
do you spend
good.
on each level?
Oh, much longer than any human should. It's it's not like you know
That's funny.
it's basically me taking a test,
Hmm.
which is over analyzing every question and being like, well, under this circumstance, no. Is that what they mean? And it's like, no, that's not, of course not what they mean. They
And
mean
my
the most
style is,
obvious
what's
thing.
this button? Let's just press it. Let's
No,
see.
no, you're fine. I actually was thinking about playing this, and see, it's not about defeating this guy because I don't have the power for it. It's about pushing him so that when he attacks, he only hits the mountain, not that. So I have to think who's better? Who should I freeze and who should I not freeze?
How do you know what to do though?
You don't. You just make the best of it.
Really? You have to figure it out?
Oh yeah, that's the game part. What are you talking about?
Well, like if I saw this as someone who doesn't play games, I'd be like, what do I do?
Well, that's the game.
Yeah, but usually there's some parameters, some rules, some.
Yeah, there are rules.
Okay.
You can only move on to the green
Well, how do
tiles.
you know that is what I'm asking?
I fundamentally don't understand your question. Like, there's like, I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, if someone doesn't play games, if I just turn this on right here, I'd be like, what do I do?
Well, that's what I was telling you for, and you said you got it.
Well, yes and no, but like each level is different. That's what I'm asking
Well,
you.
that's the beauty. So every single level, you're just protecting the buildings. That's your
Okay.
only objective. Okay? You can choose, do I let civilians in the power grid die and go down? Or do I let my mech get defeated? That's what I mean by the work. You're just, sometimes it's not a good. And see that decision right there?
Yeah,
Not my smartest decision, you could argue. Um,
I won't argue.
but I thought it was because I wanted to have him defeat an extra enemy
Hmm.
and hit somebody to defeat them permanently. Because I do want to defeat all of the evil Vec and
Right.
save the Earth. But Pacific Rim was such a letdown to me because it was by the guy who did Pan's Labyrinth. And I mean, I
What an
thought,
intense movie.
yeah, it's really visionary. You could take it for being a fairy tale, or you could take it that psychologically, the girl was coping with stuff.
Yeah, I know. That's
And
it's
and
cool
that's
to
what makes it
interpret.
great,
Yeah.
And I just, ugh,
That was
this,
really brilliant. Like it was so brilliant, that movie, that you literally were left to your own interpretation of, like you said, whether this was, the way the story was weaved, or whether it was actually her her world trying to deal with, the hardship. So just interesting. I really like that movie.
yeah, no, it's a really good movie, and I actually liked his other film. He did Hellboy, and even though it was silly,
Yeah, I didn't see it, but my impression was,
but it was fun. It
yeah,
was a
well, that's good.
fun little fantasy, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
And it was just a fun time. But then he did Pan's Labyrinth, or whatever order it's in. And you kind of want him to try something experimental like Pan's Labyrinth again.
Mm.
So when I heard that he was going to be doing Pacific Rim, which was evil aliens versus gigantic robots piloted by humans, and humanity's on the brink of extinction, I'm hoping Pan's Labyrinth's director shows up, not Hellboy's.
Yeah,
Because I don't care about how cool the creature design is. I wanted a really good story, and they let the story take a back seat, in my opinion, and I absolutely despise that film.
oh, it's too bad.
And yeah, I could have had fun, but I just kept more so feeling like, oh, and this is a really interesting level because this is break 5 buildings out of the ice.
Oh.
So again, these bonus objectives, like let's say you are like bragging, like, oh, I'm so great. Um, you could you could focus on the bonus objectives, and I could have been better about doing the bonus objectives in the earlier levels that you
Right.
just saw. Well, now because I've gotten better and I've gotten more acclimated to these particular robots, I can do the bonus objectives and work on getting protecting all of the civilians, protecting all of my robots, preventing Vec from emerging,
Hmm.
all at the same time. So, like I'm actually gonna let him fire on this building because it doesn't matter because it's encased in ice. It's protected from impact at first. I don't know. There was something else I wanted to say, but I kind of forgot. But it doesn't matter. It's okay. About the game. But
Hmm.
anyway, I wanted Pacific Rim to be more of a survival story.
Right.
Like I would be okay with a story where the pilots failed or whatever,
Hmm.
and it was just an awesome battle, but they couldn't be defeated. I would have been cool if it was just that, but instead it was um, they just didn't pay a lot of attention to like the story. Like I really enjoy the science
Hmm.
and the blending of science and fiction. And oh yes, yeah, I'm getting objectives now, and I'm like and see that evil spider web. I hate those
Oh,
guys.
you're killing it. Look at that.
So yeah, this game is absolutely fantastic, and I unlocked a new pilot as you saw,
Mm.
Bethany, and Bethany starts off with a shield. That's why I'm saying these pilots are super badass.
Mm.
And oh man, this game is just so good. Like really, I feel like after I've done it, like I've had my like exercise for the day. Like
Yeah.
I actually like paced around the house for like about 5 minutes, going, man, that was great. Whoa, just be
Wow, that's amazing.
because it just gave you so much to think about. It was just amazing. Like I want you to look at this move right here. So, um, this guy is encased in this. If he fires his mirror shot, this monster is going to be pushed into this building,
Oh my
which would
God.
destroy the building. He's also going to hit the building, so I do need to get him. I needed to get him because he was giving everybody extra health, I think.
Oh,
I,
this is definitely up your alley.
this guy,
Because if
I
I was
want
in
I needed
charge,
to
they're all
protect this
dying.
building. So look what I did. I put him in harm's way, protected the building. He'll
Oh
get
man.
shot so that he breaks free from the ice. Now when I shoot, this'll just bump into the ice, not hurting it.
Oh my God. That's like, you know what it reminds me of? Not exactly, but did you ever do dominoes where you line them
Yeah,
all
yeah,
up?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then, like, sometimes it's an epic fail, but then when all of the things, like when you push the first one over, when they all, it's like, yes.
That that's so what it's like. And this came out just after I saw Annihilation, and I love that film. So why I love it so much is because I really used to love. Um, right now, you remember the battle that we started off with?
Right.
That's the one I. That's the boss battle that I just
Mm.
did. So now I'm on a new island. Um, and again, I was really surprised that already with these new guys on my first try, I was learning their new moves so well that I could plan all this out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And I unlocked a laser weapon for one of the guys that was kind of weaker. So
Mm.
now you can fire ice and fire a badass laser.
Cool.
And sometimes the best thing is to push your mechs into other guys. Yeah, so what I was saying about the people like lying, at least reviewers and stuff on the internet, um, was they said, "Oh, there's so much here. You'll be playing for months and months." And I've already unlocked half of the robots and half of the pilots, and I've already been doing the game pretty much perfectly on normal difficulty. So, like, what game's he playing? You know?
Well, do you think it makes a difference playing on the like the higher difficulty or something?
I mean, I hope to God it will. But, yeah, I was just kind of disappointed. And look at this one.
I
This
know
one,
that was cool.
in this level, you have to dispose of all the mountains,
Oh, you
which is a
just
real, yeah, because it's like an acid factory level, so they probably don't want any mountains or anything. They probably want more room for industries and
mm,
stuff. But see, is it like, and I like that what that kind of implies. Like, is that really good?
mm.
Like, is humanity worth protecting if this is what we're doing at this point?
Well, that's what I was just thinking. It's a funny way to dispose of all mountains.
Defend the disposal unit. Protect the time pod from one of our failed timelines.
Mm.
So into the breach, basically you start each one, and it's a failed timeline, and you start over. Oh gosh, I was like, what am I going to talk about today? 30 minutes of raving about this game.
I know. Well, it's like when you're passionate about something or you really like enjoy it, you could talk forever, about it,
Yeah.
which is great. No, it's fun.
And
You're
see,
enjoying it.
was that the optimal move just now? Because I let 3 Vex spawn, but my guy couldn't move that far. Was that a failure from the first time, or a failure how I placed him?
Mm.
See, you can even overanalyze your failures in this.
Oh my God. You must
Greatest
be
game.
euphoric. It's like
You have no idea how happy I am.
what's really funny is some people like um who don't play games like kind of complain about other people that if they're in a relationship whatever playing games like it's taking away. But I am always so happy like because I know how happy it makes you and how much you enjoy it and I think it does like really help you and you know um, like I'm always like really excited for you.
Well, thank you. And I'm always excited to show you the magic of these games.
No.
Because it is magical. It does help you. I mean, think about it. For 30 minutes so far, I've thought of nothing real.
Yeah, it's like
And
a stress relief and it's fun and it's enjoyable and I think everybody should have something they're passionate about and that can kind of take them away, like whether it's a game, a movie, reading,
yeah,
whatever.
I think me and you would actually be great at this. I was actually gonna play this game. Like, I was almost like maybe I could devote my entire channel to just playing this game.
I hope that thought passed.
But I did hope that at one point me and you could play a game in real time of this. Like,
Of this
yeah,
particular
this
one,
particular one in general. And
I
I would be in control, and I mean, you could be in control, and you could ask me for, like, I could be like your commander, and oh my gosh.
okay, all right, you like, oh wait.
But like, you could be like, I need some help, and then I could help you or whatever. But for the most part, once you play it, I actually sucked when I first started. I was super bad.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't even make it past the desert level, and I went to bed cursing myself because I was like, how could I have been so stupid? What's wrong with me? And I refused to play it on easy difficulty until I learned it. And I said, that's not learning it. You're just coping with being terrible. Yeah, I know that's not really.
Yeah, that's a little
That's not
harsh.
accurate. Yeah, I was just being a jerk to myself. Um, Look, I shouldn't have placed them that close together so that
Mm.
spider web. It kind of jeopardized my whole plan.
Yeah, I think I'd watch you play. I think if I was involved, I think you'd wanna like.
There you go
I
again.
think
You are super smart, and you
that
could
doesn't
totally
mean I'm
do
good at
this.
games.
No, no, no,
I'm
no.
more of a observer than a participant.
Don't say that. Don't set yourself up for fail. Like, do whatever you want, and I know you could do this. Anyway, so I saw Annihilation, and it reminded me of the Michael Crichton books because I used to be I forgot how into science fiction I was. Remember how I've been like whining so much that that like where are the good movies and all that
Yeah,
stuff, you
you
know?
have. Well, you
I
say whining, but I think you're just
very unhappy.
commenting.
Yeah. I mean, sure, you know, we've all liked me and you,
Yeah.
we liked Drive, and there have been some other movies that have been good, like Life was good with Jake Gyllenhaal that you never saw. Arrival was good with Amy Adams that you never saw.
No.
Um,
You never even mentioned those. I don't even know them. Did you?
but that's okay. Um, yeah, no, it was a while ago.
Oh, okay.
I saw the movie by myself because you were uh visiting. You were in Maine or something.
Oh, okay.
So gosh, this game is so good. But yeah, so it kind of gave me that feeling that I felt when I used to watch movies, and it really reminded me of why I loved science fiction so passionately, was because it it adds the illogical to the logical, and they kind of use our boundaries as humans that we know about and think what could break those boundaries, and they explore that. And I loved Michael Crichton's thing of um, a bunch of experts go out into the field to face a problem. You know, like Sphere. Sphere was probably one of my favorite books to read, and I spent an entire year reading all these books, and it stopped with Congo because I believe I was a little underwhelmed by Congo. But I just devoured all of his books that he pretty much wrote at the time. And I was in, I think, middle school, maybe a little older. Um, and I just remember just loving it so much because there was so much to love. Um, however, I kind of forgot how much I loved it. And if you remember Alien, remember how Alien actually goes through the science part of it a lot? You know, this is their blood. What kind of creature is it? There's lots of experimenting on the alien, you know, and talking about it and being philosophical and kind of psychological because you're wondering what the computer mother is going to do, and that and you know you could almost compare it to the 2001: A Space Odyssey movie where it's got multiple plot lines of, but they blended seamlessly in Alien, whereas in 2001: A Space Odyssey it is kind of more segmented. But whatever. Anyway, when I watched Annihilation, I felt that love that I used to feel.
Oh, wow.
And it made me so unbelievably happy to watch that film. There was only one part, so I adored the film. It's probably not for everybody, but I adored the film, except for one part at the end. I thought that's kind of dumb, and then I wasn't totally on board because I was like in love with it. Like I was thinking like this is gonna be one of my favorite movies ever, and then the ending started to happen, and I was like, oh man. But then I remembered how I felt when I used to read those books, and I said to myself, expand your mind a little bit, which is a quote from Tony Horton in his P90X routine. When in Yoga X, he tries to say, you know, say the ohms. He says at the end, he says, say it with me. And he goes, stop, you know, thinking about yourself, expand your mind a little bit. Does he say it there? Or does he say it when he's trying to get people encouraged in yoga? Because he thinks a bunch of bodybuilders and like weightlifters don't want to do yoga. So he does try to encourage you. And he says, just expand your mind a little bit. And I said that to myself in the theater. And that's what science fiction asks you to do, is it kind of says, you know, open up your eyes for a second and think that we are insignificant, that we are stupid creatures. And I always love to draw the example of how ignorant we are from the fact that it was only in like the 60s that we started looking at children and being like, hey, that's interesting. All of them draw pictures at the exact same developmental stages. And that seemed like such an like such a logical thing,
Mm.
and to think it was only in the 60s that we were like, what brave new research this individual has come up with. And and what pisses me, not I never think like, hey, that's interesting. I think, how have we not found that out before?
I know.
Are you? It's not like kids are a new thing.
Yeah.
So somebody watching their kids is a revolutionary research, like a breakthrough.
It's true. It's true. I often think that way, like, how are we not further ahead?
Yeah,
Like, really, for all the technology and how long, we've been formed, it just amazes me at um, how our thinking and a lot of things just are so far behind. And it's just so surprising to me.
it really is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, you said it's not for everyone, and yet you want to take me.
Yeah, no, so
And
here's
I
the,
feel like
I've got a
I'm
really
going to be
interesting question.
scared to death.
Well, at one point the sound is uncomfortable, and Paranormal Activity might have started that. I mean, I don't know
What do you
everything.
mean the sound is uncomfortable?
So Paranormal Activity, when it played in the theaters, I don't know if it like, made it popular again or whatever, but it put a pitch to that makes people uncomfortable in the theater to make the movie more, to heighten the movie, the experience of
Oh,
the
that's
movie.
kind of weird.
Well, it asks this really interesting question. Would you forego pure entertainment for a chance to be in art, to be in the movie for a second, to be in their head and to feel as scared and as crazy as them? Would you forego comfort?
When you say comfort, does it hurt your ears or is it just so intense?
The theater that I was in,
Yeah.
it was extremely intense.
So it didn't like hurt your ears. It wasn't like some weird
It's
like
not
dog
like I was
whistle.
gonna. It was not like I got permanent damage. No, it was very discomforting, and I felt very. But I thought it was such an interesting question. Would I forego that to do it again? I don't know. Because it was pretty uncomfortable, and I don't know. But I also loved the idea of being inside a movie.
Yeah, I know. I just like I know
But it
you
is
want to
pretty
show me,
creepy.
but
It is pretty creepy.
I'm afraid I'll be like scarred for life or something.
But you got to be.
I've got to be scared.
But the movie, it just asks so many psychological and
Yeah.
philosophical questions.
Really?
And that's why I dug it so much, was it remember how I complained that movies are segmented, or they move too quick, or there was too
Right.
many characters, or blah blah blah. And sometimes I'm pretty lenient about this
Right.
stuff. Like I said, Suicide Squad, I was just like, it's just a dumb movie. Relax, guys. To everybody that was whining about it.
Right, right. That was so fun. I
It
love
was
that.
it's super dumb, and we're never gonna watch it again. But we had a really fun time at a date movie.
Well, I wouldn't say never. Like if a lot of time went, I might want to revisit it because it was fun. Just like to have fun.
And yeah, it's pretty much a terrible movie, but like, you shouldn't always prevent yourself from whatever.
But I thought the
Oh,
characters were selling that. I liked them.
I spend a lot of time on these levels thinking about the optimal move. It's pretty great. Yeah, and stuff can just be fun and dumb, but so I need that balance. You got to have your junk food and your really healthy things, and I needed a healthy movie meal.
Yeah.
And what I got was something that asked philosophical. It felt like a Michael Crichton book, and another thing was character development.
Right.
I knew all the characters. I really appreciated what it did do. Like, I actually felt for the characters in it. And I watched it with two individuals, and it was pretty disturbing that they were like, there was some slow parts. I'm like, yeah, where they talked and build character. Or
That
is that
annoying talking.
is that no? Because I was curious. What is that really the part that they were talking about? And I asked somebody, and I was like, so did you enjoy it? He was like, I don't know. And then I said, and then later he said, well, I think I actually, so right after we finished the film, he said, I think it was pretty crappy. And, I ignored him because I couldn't have cared less. And then what happened was somebody asked me if I liked it, and I said I loved it. I thought it was great. I'm extremely happy. And then we started talking about it, and then he went, "Well, yeah, I liked the story." So then we're like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Well, there's just some parts." So then he asked a question about the end, and I answered it, and I said, "That's what it implies this." And then he asked some insignificant question that, who cares? And I said, "Well, I don't know the answer to that. I guess you've got a point. If it's bugging you that you don't know this insignificant fact, all right, whatever, whatever." But then he even said, like, "Well, yeah, I like the characters. Yeah, it was a good story, but I don't know." And and then that other person that I was with made a joke that, "Oh, it's because it's a thinking film, honey. You're not used to that." She joked. Um, so yeah, so and it does ask a lot of you, and it is really overwhelming because it tries to teach so much on you. But just like True Detective, it's almost what that first guy says about a movie. If he says the movie's great, or if he said True Detective slow, people would have said True Detective slow. Don't bother with it. American Psycho's kind of weird. Don't see it.
Right, right.
And it's things like that that I.
Well, we just want things easy, we just like.
There we go.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's it. Maybe
It
I
is.
want, just like this game. I wanted something extremely difficult, and I think that's fun to ask. Every now and then we should challenge ourselves, because I believe people are bright, people are good, and I want to help them out. And to do that, you've always got to ask questions. And that's what's so cool about people on the internet, and the internet being a thing, is we can ask these questions. And most of the time, people listening do want to ask these questions and are interested. Anyway, it reminded me of 2001: A Space Odyssey. If you're wondering what the movie's going to be like, because I went in completely blind, I didn't even know it was a movie, so that also helped. I saw Death Wish in the morning, and then I saw Annihilation at night. So my standards are super low. Here's like an analogy. I had a burnt, charred marshmallow shoved in my throat, and I just, it's still on fire a little bit. It's just burnt and gross. There's not even the melted like marshmallow goodness in it. It's just gross. And then later that night, I had like a vegan burger, or like a big, steak meal or whatever, you know.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm trying to describe what the movie, like what the movie's like, yeah. What the experience was like, So that's how low my standards were.
Yeah.
Like I saw Death Wish, and it was like, what's the point of that movie? To get the bad guys. But yeah, I think like 2001: A Space Odyssey, and Arrival. That ending left a lot to be desired, in my opinion. But I also believe that Arrival lost steam midway through the movie. That's why I told you never to watch it, because it asks a few questions, but it loses steam, and then it asks us to broaden our minds. And Interstellar, I didn't really like that film either, because I thought the main point of it, that we shouldn't take care of the earth, and we're not caretakers, I thought was a really terrible lesson. But also, as you can see, I'm on the final level right now. That this is the final level, and as you can see, one of my main things that I've been doing is putting this artillery unit in harm's way so that his ice breaks. That actually screws me over at the end, because I thought what it's been doing up until this point is my ice shield has been shielding me from any damage. It actually screws me over at the end.
Oh.
I put myself in harm's way thinking that it will break the ice so that I'll be free for next turn.
Right.
And it ended up going through the ice and killing me
Oh
permanently.
my God.
And I got so furious
I
that I
bet.
just purposely made my enemies fire on each other, or made not my enemies, made my people fire on each other and defeat each other,
Oh my gosh.
like in anger, which is a really good move, because then I wasn't able to use them for next time. But I was like, should I mention that? But that's the thing with these games is there is a learning curve.
Right, right. I would assume so.
And I wish, whatever, you live and learn is kind of the point of that. But like Alien 2001: A Space Odyssey, I don't know. Annihilation did something different,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a different experience, and it asked a lot from you. So that's why
You
I
think I
liked it.
can handle it?
Yeah, totally.
Alright, I feel like I'm gonna be scared.
But I was extra into it because I was extra into it. So that's why everything was heightened for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it asks a really cool question, and if like that person that they watch, NCIS and dramas that have been on for 20 years, and they play the same game over and over again, and that's cool
Mm-hmm.
if you enjoy that.
Right.
But me and I'm guessing the people that listen to this show, most people want something more,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why we're here. And that's why we're playing these cool games, and you know.
Right.
That's why, I like movies like Annihilation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like this game like Into the Breach, just like the ant thing that we were talking about.
Yeah.
The ants enjoyed themselves more when there was more difficulty. And octopuses would eat their own tentacles if they were too bored or something.
Yeah.
Like, we do need that.
We do. It's funny because we're always thinking we want free time. We don't want to do anything. We wish we didn't have to work. But the truth of the matter is, it's like we need some productivity. We need some sort of schedule and challenge.
And you need to give it to yourself if you're not getting it from anywhere, because I do think it improves the overall quality of.
Yeah, I agree.
Stuff.
I do agree with that.
Yeah, so thank you so much for listening. I kind of lost, in my opinion, like kind of became jumbled at some points, but I hope it all made sense. Did it?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. All right. So what do you think about the game?
Yeah, no, I'm like so excited for you. Like I can see your passion for it, and I can see what you mean by it's like chess. There is strategy involved, and I like the different little sceneries and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I first saw this game, I was like, this is the ugliest looking thing I've ever seen. But after playing it, you actually kind of like it. I mean, it's not supposed to be pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's a little underwhelming at first. Like
it
when
is.
you show
It's
me, I'm like,
do you know I wasn't going to buy this?
so excited, and it's like a little block, a little grid. But I get it. The more you played, the more you talked about it. I totally get it.
I actually wasn't going to buy this when I saw it, because I was like, it looks so unimpressive. It looks so unimpressive and stuff.
I think that's it. But then I think we give it a chance, and it's it's kind of cool.
Yeah, which is kind of cool, because that's actually what I was talking about for everything.
Yeah, exactly.
All works out, And this is pure science fiction, and it's super strategy, like I wish Pacific Rim was. Thank you so much for listening, and good night.
Good night.